Good evening, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Alistair, and I've been asked to give a reflection this evening. I've been thinking a lot about communication recently, and as you can see from that picture, there's so many different kind of forms of communication, and in this modern world, we're almost bombarded with communication on a daily basis. As a Christian, sometimes communication can be really hard. Even if you're not a Christian, communication can be really hard. Sometimes you can be speaking a completely different language. For those who don't know, my wife Sabrina, she's originally from Uruguay, so her and her family's first language is Spanish. And one time I was round at her family house for Thanksgiving, and I went up to Sabrina's mum and just said, "Would you like any help?" And I put my hands out, as you can't really see in the camera. And when I put my hand out, she just then gave me a hug. Afterwards, it turned out that her mum thought I'd said, "Would you like a hug?" Instead, I'd said, "Would you like any help?" For those who know me, they will know that I would never ask anyone, probably not even my wife, for a hug. So I was rather bamboozled when it happened, but obviously she just thought that was what I was saying because her first and main language is Spanish. Sometimes you can be so distracted by noise that it's kind of hard to hear what's going on, just constant in the background. My place of work is in a factory, and everybody in the factory area has to wear ear protections all the time as PPE just because of the high level of noise. So communication can be very hard with all this kind of background distraction, all this kind of noise going on. How is it you can listen? How is it you can engage with all these things happening? You also get communication by way of gestures. A gesture like that, everybody knows what it means. A guy down on one knee holding out a ring. It's a proposal. Other times in life, though, communication can be very confusing by gestures. I'm sure every driver listening to this has experienced that instance when somebody's flashing their lights going in the opposite direction, but you've no idea why they're flashing you. Is a light out? Are your high beams on? Is there a police car in the distance that they're trying to warn you so you don't get a ticket? Not that I would ever be driving that fast to get a ticket. You don't really know what they're saying. And that's why communication is so hard sometimes. Other distractions, like this stock image here, I also have 2 kids and a cat, and I also have a...
Alistair, are you remembering that you said you would hang up the mirrors today?
I also have a wife, and all these kind of things can just confuse things, can make concentrating, engaging quite difficult. Recently, Ruben hasn't been very well, and Sabrina came through and woke me up at 6:30 in the morning. Ruben had been up for quite a while at this time, and our youngest, Noah, then had woken up. So I get out of bed and I pick up Ruben, and Sabrina says to me, "Alistair, can you give him some Calpol?" I said, "Sure, no problem. Where is it?" Sabrina's answer, "It's out." And I said, "Oh, okay. Out where?" No, it's out." I said, yes, I heard you. Where is it? I want to give him some Calpol. And she said, no, it's out. Eventually I saw the Calpol and it was just on the floor there. I bent down to pick it up while holding Ruben, and it was empty. Sabrina was trying to tell me that it didn't matter where the Calpol was because it was empty. I needed to go and get some more. I just assumed Sabrina meant it's out of the cupboard, and I thought, great, well, just tell me where it is. So sometimes communication, there can be miscommunications, there can be distractions. And then it gets me thinking of Jesus. In Luke 5, verse 15 and 16, it says, "But now, even more the report about him went abroad, and great crowds gathered to hear him and to be healed of their infirmities. but he would withdraw to desolate places and pray. Here, we hear of Jesus. Jesus himself would withdraw to desolate places and pray. How often in our days, or even in our months, do we take ourselves away from the distractions that are around us, the noise, the obligations, all these different things, and just spend time engaging with God? How important is that, so that we can hear God's response, engage with him properly in prayer? If we're reading his word but we're distracted, we're not going to be engaging, communicating with God through his word in the same way. And what sticks out to me is that here it's saying that even though there was people there to be healed of their infirmities, still Jesus would pray. And it highlights to us the importance of that deep communication with God that should be prioritized over all things. So yeah, I just hope that I can, and my hope and prayer is that you all can as well maybe join me sometime over the next week to withdraw ourselves to a place of peace, quiet, and re-engage, re-communicate with God in such a quiet, calm, peaceful place that we can hear his response.